You've heard me say it before. Copy is queen and content is king, but no matter what form of online marketing you're doing, it is video that reigns supreme. And in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to write one of the most effective sales tools there are, video sales letters. Keep watching. Hey Posse, what's up? It's Alex coming to you this week with a brand new video that has been highly requested from the Posse for a long time. And that is how to write video scripts. But before we get into all of that, if you're new to the crew, welcome. My channel is your one-stop shop for all things copywriting, digital marketing, content marketing, and entrepreneurship. So if you'd like to learn more about that, go ahead and hit subscribe below and don't forget to ring that bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Now, it is no secret that video has been rising in popularity over the years. We're immersed in video content all day long thanks to things like TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook Live and of course the king of video, YouTube. But video isn't just something that we as humans like to consume for education and entertainment, it's also something that we like to watch when it comes to our buying decisions, and here are some stats to prove it. When asked how they'd most like to learn about a product or service, 73% of people say they prefer to watch a short video, compared to just 11% who would rather read a text-based article, website, or post. And 88% of people say they've been convinced to buy a product or service after watching a brand's video. And thanks to stats like this, business owners of all sizes and in all niches have really started to take notice and are beginning to incorporate more video into their marketing efforts, which is great news for you if you're a copywriter, because as consumers continue to demand more video content from their favorite brands, more and more businesses will need help creating them. But before you get all gung-ho and add video writing to your list of services, you better get familiar with the different types of video scripts there are out there, because there are a ton of ways that you can use video to sell your products and services. There are video ads and video case studies, welcome videos, thank you videos, sales videos, short promo videos, long webinars, and everything in between. Basically, anything you could write online could also be said in a video. And the way in which you'll write and structure each type of video script will be slightly different depending on the purpose and the context. The form of video script that we're focusing on today is a VSL, or a video sales letter. Now, for those of you who don't know, a VSL is exactly what it sounds like, a sales letter designed to persuade and convert an audience, but in video format instead of a written format. So a good VSL will still follow the same general flow of a written offer and will include many of the same elements. But there are some very key differences, and I'll cover those in this video. So with that, let's dive in. Here are 5 steps to writing a high converting VSL from scratch. Starting with number 1, where and how is it being used? So before you get started on the actual writing, you need to consider the context and placement of your video sales letter. Is it going to be a standalone VSL, something that needs to do all the selling by itself? Or will it act as a supplementary support to some written copy, maybe on a long sales page? Is it an upsell, a downsell, or your primary offer? How is your audience finding the VSL? Is it via an email, a social post, a paid ad, or maybe affiliate traffic? How aware is your audience of your product or brand? Is this the first time they're finding you, or have they heard of you before or maybe purchased from you before? Just like with a written sales letter, all of this context around your audience and campaign is extremely important to have before you start writing, so you know what the user is experiencing on the page and how long your VSL should be. And this seems to be the number one question that I get. Everyone wants to know, Alex, how long should a VSL really be? And the answer, of course, like everything, is it really depends. It depends on a variety of factors, like how complex your offer is, how aware your audience is, how expensive your product is, or what the end goal is. For example, if you're selling a $7 product, then you probably don't need a 20-minute VSL. But if you're selling a $5,000 service, then you might need some more information to persuade that person to make the purchase. But no matter what, always follow the golden rule of copywriting. It should be as long as it needs to get your point across, no longer, no shorter. But this does lead me to the very first key difference between a written and a video sales letter. In a written sales letter, people can scroll ahead, they can skim, and they can explore the page. They can jump ahead to the price and then jump back. They can click around. They cannot do this with a standalone VSL. They either watch it or they leave, so you really don't want to risk losing their attention even for a split second, which brings me to number 2, what's the core problem and benefit? So the very first thing you need to do in your VSL is capture the attention of your ideal client, and the faster you can do it, the better. And this is the second key difference between a written and a video sales letter. In a written video sales letter, the headlines hold a lot of weight because they decide if the reader continues to read at all, right? And they are written in a way to grab attention visually by someone reading it. In a VSL though, it's the first sentence or opening line of your video that holds all the weight, and it really needs to grab attention in a whole other way. It needs to be done conversationally, as if you're speaking to your customer. And of course, there are many ways that you can do this. One of the most effective ways to do this is to clearly call out your audience's core problem. So you can do this by leading in with a really compelling story, something that really grabs attention, or by asking a question you already know the answer to, like, hey, do you want to get paid to write? Do you want to learn how to write a high converting sales page? Do you want to master the secrets of email marketing? Each of those questions, of course, is completely rhetorical, but they serve as a great way to open your VSL and get straight to the primary problem that your audience is facing and what they're hoping to achieve. So this helps them immediately self-select and think, yes, I absolutely need to pay attention to this video. Now, another way you could do this is by simply calling out the biggest benefit. So for example, if you want to ignite your copywriting business in just 8 weeks, if you want to learn the highly sought after copywriting skills and marketing secrets that businesses are looking for right now, if you want to have a complete portfolio that potential clients will find absolutely irresistible, if you want to turn your passion for writing into a real life business, you get the point, right? And you can see how using those if-you statements really help clearly communicate who I'm talking to and what the offer is all about. So next up, you want to pivot to number 3, what's the solution? All right, so you've called out the audience, you've captured their attention, you've helped them self-select, and you've hooked them into listening to what you have to say. The next thing you need to do is let them know that there is in fact a solution to the problem or problems that you just called out. So this is where you can tell them, hey, look, I do have something that can help you, and here's how. This is where you'll give them a rundown of your offer and specifically how you or your product or service can solve the big problem that they're facing. This is also a really great time to weave in a story or a case study, right? And this brings me to the next key difference between a written and a video sales letter. Unlike case studies or testimonials that are written on a page in first person, in a VSL, you are telling your customer stories to your audience. So it needs to be more conversational and free-flowing, and you need to tell stories in a way that continually opens loops and creates interest to keep your audience listening as you introduce your product or service. And that brings me to the next step. Step number 4, what's the big deal? So just like in a written sales letter, in a VSL, you need to go deeper than just the left brain, here's your problem and here's how I can help type of stuff, right? If you want to compel your audience to buy, then you need to explain why your solution is in fact the best solution for them. So this means talking about your USP or your unique selling proposition. It means talking about the benefits of your solution and of course not just the features. It means showcasing why you are the authority on this subject and why you're the person they should buy from. But that leads me to the next difference between a written and video sales letter. In a written sales letter, you might list out the benefit bullets one by one, right? Really visually. You might include an authority bio written in third person about yourself or whoever created the product or service. You might list out every single feature and module and asset along with its value. Whereas in a video sales letter, this all has to be done, but it has to be done verbally, which means you need to cut out the fluff and make sure the copy flows very conversationally. So make sure the script is structured in an easy to read format and add in any natural pauses and transitions. And lastly, all good VSLs, or any copy for that matter, must answer the question, number 5, what's the next step? So after you get your prospects on board with how your product or service will make them feel and what their life could look like after buying, next is when you want to really juice up the offer and make it irresistible. This is where you can overcome objections, remove any risks, throw in any last-minute bonuses, and of course you'll want to wrap it all up with one very clear and concise call to action, such as saying something like, and click the button below to enroll now. But that brings me to the last key difference between a written and a video sales letter. So in a written sales letter, you may have 1 or 2 buy buttons at the bottom of the page, and that's because anyone who is looking to purchase knows what to do, right? They'll just quickly scroll down to the bottom and hit the button when they're ready to buy. In a VSL, you definitely don't want to wait until the very end to drop your first CTA because most people will not make it that far. So make sure you're dropping verbal calls to action multiple times throughout the script, starting immediately after you introduce the product and the offer. offer. Got it? And there you have it, my 5-step formula for writing a high converting VSL and the key differences between writing a written and video sales letter. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to see more tutorials on VSLs and other forms of video script writing, leave me a comment below and let me know. And I will see you next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out the next one from me right here. And you can click right here to get a free gift. Have you been hired to write a sales page but can't stop staring at that blinking cursor at the top of an empty document? Well, ask your client these 5 questions and watch as a high converting sales page practically writes itself. Stay tuned.